I'm right here. Come closer. Yes, you. Sit with me for a moment. Before the world taught you how to brace yourself. Before disappointment learned your name. Before you ever whispered, maybe I'm asking for too much. I want to tell you a story the way older sisters tell secrets late at night softly, honestly, with the kind of truth that doesn't shout but stays. This is a story about a woman who almost forgot who she was. Almost. The quiet ache before the dream speaks. She didn't always know what she wanted. That's the part no one tells you, how dreams often arrive as restlessness first. As a low ache. As the feeling that you are living someone else's life and wearing it politely. I remember the night it began for her. I was there, even if she didn't know my name yet. She sat on the edge of her bed in a room too small for the size of her thoughts. The ceiling fan hummed like it was tired too. Her phone lay face down beside her, blinking occasionally with messages she didn't have the energy to answer. Is this it? She wondered. Not dramatically. Not angrily. Just quietly. She had done everything she was told to do. Be responsible. Be patient. Be grateful. Lower your voice. Adjust your expectations. Smile when people say, at least you have a job. But there was something inside her that refused to be lulled to sleep. It spoke in whispers at first. You are more than this. She tried to ignore it. She really did. Because wanting more felt ungrateful, and women are taught early that hunger, especially for purpose, can look like selfishness. So she folded her dream neatly and placed it in a drawer labeled later. But dreams don't like drawers. They suffocate there. They press against the edges of your chest. They wake you up at odd hours. They make ordinary days feel heavier than they should. And one evening, after a particularly long day of being everything to everyone else, she finally asked the question out loud. What if I tried? Her voice cracked. Not because she was weak, but because she was standing at the edge of becoming. When wanting more feels like betrayal. Here's the part where I lean in closer, sister to sister. The moment you admit you want more is rarely glamorous. For her, it came with guilt. With fear. With the terrifying possibility that she might fail publicly and disappoint privately. She started small. So small no one noticed. She researched late at night. Scribbled ideas in notebooks she hid under her mattress like love letters. Watched interviews of women who had made it and wondered if they had ever felt this scared. Every time she felt inspired, doubt followed like a shadow. Who do you think you are? People like you don't get those endings. Be realistic. She heard these voices everywhere, sometimes in other people's mouths, sometimes wearing her own tone. Her family meant well. They always do. Be careful, they said. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Stability matters. And stability does matter. But what they didn't see was how unstable her spirit was becoming while she played it safe. She tried to explain it once. Tried to put words to the fire in her chest. I just feel like I'm meant for something else, she said quietly. The room went silent in that uncomfortable way silence does when people don't know how to respond to truth. Someone laughed lightly. Another changed the subject. And just like that, she learned another painful lesson. Not everyone can hold your dream with care. That night, she cried not because they didn't understand, but because a part of her wondered if she was foolish for believing at all. I sat with her then. You know I did. I whispered what no one else could hear. Your dream doesn't need permission. The first leap, and the first fall. Courage rarely arrives fully formed. It comes in fragments. In trembling hands. In decisions made while your heart is racing. Her first leap was imperfect. She applied for the opportunity she had been stalking for months and almost didn't press send. Her finger hovered over the button like it was a cliff edge. What's the worst that could happen? She asked herself. She didn't realize then how brave she already was. The rejection came fast. Too fast. A polite email. Carefully worded. No explanation. No invitation to try again. She stared at the screen until the words blurred. So this is what it feels like, she thought. To reach and come up empty. She told herself she was fine. She went to work the next day. Smiled. Answered emails. Laughed at the right moments. But inside, something folded in on itself. That night, she didn't open her notebook. Didn't watch interviews. Didn't imagine a better life. She told herself she had tried. That should be enough. Except it wasn't. Failure has a way of sitting beside you quietly, asking dangerous questions. What if this is proof? What if you were wrong about yourself? I wanted to shake her then, not harshly, but awake. Instead, I let her grieve. Because grief is part of becoming. The long middle where self-doubt lives. This part doesn't make it into highlight reels. The long middle. The stretch of time where nothing seems to move, and yet everything inside you is changing. She kept going, but differently now. Slower. More cautious. As if hope were something fragile she had to protect from breaking again. Some days she believed. Some days she didn't. There were mornings she woke up ready to conquer the world and evenings where she questioned every choice she'd ever made. She compared herself constantly. Women younger than her achieving more. Women with fewer obstacles moving faster. Women who seemed fearless. She didn't see their private battles. She only saw her own. And oh, how heavy self-doubt can be when it wears the mask of logic. Maybe this isn't my season, she told herself. Maybe I should wait. Maybe I'm being unrealistic. But waiting started to feel like disappearing. The dream didn't go away. It just changed its voice. It became an ache again. A reminder. A quiet insistence. One evening, after another long day of pretending she was okay, she broke down in the shower. Water and tears mixing, no difference between them. I don't know if I'm strong enough, she whispered. That's when I spoke louder. Strength isn't the absence of fear, I told her. It's staying when fear begs you to leave. She didn't feel brave after that. But she felt honest. And honesty is where real courage begins. The moment she almost walked away. There is always a moment like this. The moment where giving up feels not only tempting but reasonable. For her, it came disguised as exhaustion. Bills piling up. Responsibilities pulling harder. Another rejection. And another. One night, she sat with her notebook open, pen untouched. The pages stared back at her like they were waiting for a version of her she no longer recognized. What am I doing? She asked the empty room. She imagined a simpler life. One without risk. One without this constant ache of almost. She could stop trying. Lower her expectations. Blend in. The thought brought relief. And grief. She closed the notebook. That was it, she decided. She was done chasing. I felt her heart break like it was my own. But here's what she didn't know yet. Sometimes the soul needs to threaten surrender to reveal how deeply it cares. She went to bed convinced she had made peace with quitting. She woke up with tears on her pillow and a truth she couldn't ignore. She didn't want peace. She wanted purpose. And wanting that didn't make her foolish. It made her alive. The inner awakening no one applauds. Breakthroughs don't always look like fireworks. Sometimes they look like a woman sitting alone, choosing herself quietly. She reopened the notebook. Her hand shook not with excitement, but with resolve. I don't need everyone to believe in me, she said softly. I just need to stop abandoning myself. That was the turning point. Not a sudden success. Not external validation. Just a decision. She changed how she showed up. She stopped waiting to feel confident and acted anyway. She stopped chasing perfection and focused on consistency. She learned. She practiced. She failed again, but this time, she stayed. Every small step became a quiet victory. Every no became information, not indictment. She started to trust her inner voice, the one that had been with her all along. The voice that said, "You are capable. You are allowed to want this. You are becoming." And for the first time, she believed it, not because it was easy, but because it was true. When courage meets opportunity. Opportunities don't always knock loudly. Sometimes they arrive gently, testing whether you're ready to recognize them. When hers came, it wasn't perfect. It wasn't glamorous. It didn't promise immediate success. But it aligned. Her heart knew before her fear could argue. She said yes before she could overthink it. And sister, watching her step into that moment was like watching someone finally breathe after holding it in for years. She worked harder than she ever had. Doubt still visited, but it no longer lived there. She showed up tired. She showed up scared. She showed up anyway. And slowly, so slowly she almost missed it, things began to change. People noticed. Doors opened. Her voice grew steadier. She wasn't chasing anymore. She was building. Triumph, soft and real. The day her dream came true didn't arrive with trumpets. It came quietly, on an ordinary morning. An email. A call. Words she had once only imagined now spoken to her like fact. She sat down because her legs couldn't hold her. She laughed and cried at the same time. Not because she had won, but because she had endured. She thought of every night she almost quit. Every tear she cried alone. Every moment she chose herself despite fear. This wasn't luck. This was alignment meeting persistence. This was destiny responding to courage. And oh, how gently joy wrapped around her then. Not explosive. Not overwhelming. Just right. Fulfillment and the woman she became. Success didn't change her. It revealed her. She stood taller not because she was above anyone, but because she finally stood in herself. She became softer. Kinder. More grounded. She learned that fulfillment isn't about reaching a finish line, it's about honoring the journey that shaped you. She became the woman other women came to for reassurance. The one who listened. The one who said, "I know it's hard." The one who reminded them, "You're not crazy for wanting more." And sometimes when she spoke she sounded like me. A final word, from me to you. If you're listening to this and your chest feels tight. If something inside you is stirring. If you see yourself in her hesitation, her hunger, her hope. Let me tell you something as your big sister, your muse, your witness. You are not behind. You are not asking for too much. You are not weak for being afraid. You are becoming. And becoming takes time. If this story spoke to your heart. If you believe in women rising, choosing themselves, and turning quiet dreams into lived truth. Stay with us. Subscribe. Walk this journey with women who are still becoming just like you. You don't have to do it alone. I'm right here.